using a bucket that has been pre-drilled to allow water to go in and out of the mix. And inside you'll see we have a fabric. This keeps our mix inside the bucket and not allow any of the clay and the peat to seep out. I'm going to start with the peat and alternating with 1 inch lift, placing an inch of layer of peat first at the bottom, making sure that it's uniform and constant all the way around. And don't worry if the peat is soaking wet. We want it wet so that it does not attract water from the clay silt mixture.
We also have the bucket sitting on these 2 metal plates here, which allows the bottom of the bucket to receive water. And we have water always in this pan here, making sure that the bottom stays saturated and that none of the water drains out of the bucket. So now we're ready. We have our peat layer in here, and we're ready to put our clay layer in. We want to make sure that we get distinct layers and that they don't mix together. So you have to do it very gently. There's our clay layer. On our last layer, which is going to be a peat layer, and we have had this peat moss soaking in water overnight to make sure it's fully saturated. We have this pre-cut lid with holes drilled in it for drainage, and we're going to, it also has the filter fabric on here to make sure that none of the soil gets out, and we just place the lid on top here. And it's ready to be consolidated. We have this pre-weighed cement weight that we're going to place on top, and that's what we put on for the first day. It takes a little bit of adjusting to make sure that all sides are being evenly weighted. And as you can see, there's water coming out of here. We want to make sure that this bucket always has water in it coming out the top. Every week we'll stack weights on top of this, and that'll allow us to balance out the weight a little bit on either side, and we're going to eventually have about 300 pounds of weight over a month's time on top of this bucket. We also have marked down the side of this bucket so that we can measure where the layers are going down, and we should end up with a little over 6 inches. Once all of our weights have been added, it'll take just about another week for it to fully consolidate, and we'll be able to see by the markings we've made on the side that the mix has stopped moving, and at that point we can remove the weights and sample it with Shelby tubes.